Hi, everybody. I'm really sorry. Today's been an extremely busy day, and I've just basically put this thing together on a wing and a prayer. Uh, just about feelings that I have. And let's see, I think Hammer is supposed to be there, but I'm not seeing his camera at all. It's been the kind of day where everything is bound to malfunction. And I just put the listing up on Twitter. So if nobody's here, I understand completely. There's Hammer time. Hey, Jim, how you doing?
I'm doing good. How are you?
Oh boy, it's been just a nonstop day from the moment I woke up and Topaz the Wolf had shit in his crate overnight. My day got off and running, literally running.
So you were having a crappy day right off the get go.
Yep. Oh yeah. Yeah. So I had to clean all that mess up, and then everything else started going sideways, and so it's like, all right.
Kind of like that sixth inning for the Tigers yesterday, or whatever the hell that was. That was a hell of an inning. Whatever was going on there.
Yeah.
Walking in run.
A very strange game. Hi, Ron Leftman. How are you doing? For some reason, the recorded version of this of the show is not showing the comments in chat. So I don't know why, and I really don't give a fuck. Let's bring the Moose in here too. People making the effort to jump in. Hey, Moose, how are you?
Still alive, man. Still
alive. That's a positive attitude.
Staying alive. Staying alive.
I'm not dead yet. I feel happy.
Yeah. All right.
Bring out your dead.
Yeah. Here we go. What we're going to do is we're going to start with just a basic truism. Ben Lively to have season-ending Tommy John surgery. This just came across the wire. Isn't that lovely? That's what Stevie Wonder would say, and he didn't even see it happen.
Yeah.
Ben Lively's not so lively. He's going to be out for 12 to 16 months. Starting pitcher, dead. And
Niedermeyer.
and we don't have that flexibility, but I have more to talk about than that. And they're mowing my yard outside. I mean, this has just been a frantic fucking day. And the weather here sucks. I mean,
how bad is it?
It's late October weather. Man. Wait a minute.
Dick Goddard. Bring in Dick Goddard. God damn it. We haven't heard from him for ages.
Motherfucker. I've never seen any shit like this in my fucking life. I'm dead and I heard. I mean, honest to God, every joint in my body is like, this has to stop. I mean, I've been good about this. I've waited and waited. I got here on April the 21st and I said, oh, it's always cool. But the whole fucking month of May has sucked a big moose except for a...
It's been a lovely year.
A couple days, yeah. So let's see. We've got Tony the Calf. And he's doing his hot takes on Oklahoma City. But I have somewhere I want to go first, and that is the name of the show is I'm Sick of the Lies. And
wow, there's
everything. No, I am sick and tired, honest to God, of obvious lies being told by members of the press. No, there's nothing wrong with Joe Biden. There's nothing wrong at all with Joe Biden. It's like, go fuck yourselves and die. I'm sick of it. I mean, when you can see with your own two eyes, that Biden was absolutely in the throes of senility. I watched my mother go through it. It's like, I know the signs. I don't want to look at that, but I don't want to be lied to. And then you've got a guy like Trump who's just spewing lies at will. And nobody's saying anything about it because that's all there is now. Lies, lies, lies. So before Hammer was talking about the Tigers Guardians game. Here is an article, honest to fucking God, that is supposed to be passing as news. If you watched yesterday's game, which I did,
what the fuck happened?
I mean, the Guardians had a very tenuous 3-0 lead because they brought in Heron, and Heron just walking people, had no control.
He's like a fish out of water, though, isn't he, Heron?
Well, you had the Lane Thomas. I got it. Well,
that's the other thing. I mean, yeah, and it's not like he just went like that and froze. I mean, so they have the bases loaded with nobody out, and they bring in.
He was buffering, is what it was. He was actually buffering out there.
You can see a little white circle rotating around his head. Yeah,
it looked like one of those freeze frames when somebody is going to get killed in a cheap movie, and they're too cheap to film the actual death because they don't have the special effects.
Don't have the money for it.
Yeah. I just expected Willie Mays Hayes to fall down on that play right after it was over.
Yeah, I mean,
goodness, that was crazy. That was so crazy. But I mean, on the other hand, Smith came out there, Kate Smith came out and just freaking mowed him down.
I mean, struck out 3 guys. Are all brilliant performance, and I got hi, Big Lurker. How you doing? And I, that was great. But here's what the article says. They were already leading 3-0. So what they're talking about is after Cade York got out of the jam, which was the whole game. The whole game, if it wasn't for Cade York, there could have been a collapse. All right. But here's the take from Cleveland Baseball Talk Podcast on cleveland.com.
Oh, that sounds legitimate.
What happened next perfectly embodied guards ball chaos, an opportunistic approach that turns opponents' mistakes into game-breaking rallies. Now, I watched this game, all right? Joe Noga, who's the guy who I guess is their podcast guy, who's a fucking liar. I don't even know him. He's a fucking liar. I'm sick of the lies. Listen to this. If you watch the game, you know he's making this shit up. All right. The 9th inning was an example of chaos, Joe Noga explained. Last year, the Tigers had chaos coming out of their bullpen. The Guardians had chaos on the base paths yesterday in the 9th inning. The sequence began predictably enough with veteran Carlos Santana doing what he does best, drawing a walk. That'll tell you most of what you need to know about Carlos Santana at 40 years of age. All right. That was the reliever, Sean Gunther. All right. Then Daniel Schneemann followed with another walk, which is great for him as long as he's not swinging the bat.
And I'll tell you, Schnee worked the hell out of that count, too. That was like a 7-pitch, 8-pitch. That was a hell of a work.
So here's the deal. What he says next. It set the stage for what became the game's decisive moment. Bo Naylor reaches on a ball that Gunther fielded and tried to throw to third base and completely missed third baseman Zach McKinstry's glove. Now that is a total fucking lie. Why does he have to lie? I wish he would resign, retire, get fired, get hit by a truck. I'm sick of the lying. Why can't you just tell what really happened? So I will. Bo Naylor tried to bunt.
And he sucked at it.
Then on first and second, he popped it up in front of the mound. And he stabbed at it. The pitcher had the easy play, in essence. The base runner Carlos Santana, going from second to third, was only halfway down the baseline. And the pitcher turns to throw the ball, and he throws it right here.
Right
to the
there.
glove of the third baseman, who for some reason missed it with his glove.
They said he screened himself. That's what Arch was trying to.
Yeah,
That's
I
his-
know.
that's
Oh,
his
God.
point.
But I don't listen to what Manning says. He's an old 70 whatever, and then
Yeah.
and Matt Underwood I tune out as best I can.
But I mean, they showed it over and over again. The thing was, little leaguers make that play. What the hell?
It looked like little
leaguers
Timmy
make that
Bartholomew. Yeah, I missed it. Unbelievable. And they're assessing this that the pitcher completely missed the third baseman.
No, third baseman just freaking. He was buffering. What the hell? What's going on?
So do
Now,
I have
how
to
does
watch?
this? Wait,
Do I-
wait. I don't want to
Sorry.
lose my train of thought. I'm on a roll
Oh.
here.
Oh, like the Germans.
Yes.
Like Brown Pearl Harbor.
Why is this an example of Guardians Chaos Ball? That you fuck up a bunt it right back to the pitcher instead of drag bunting it down the line, either the third base line or drag bunting it down. He's left-handed hitter on the first base line. You stab at it, hit it right back to the pitcher, who promptly throws it right through the glove like there was a hole in the third baseman's glove. And that's chaos when the runner was only halfway down the baseline between second and third. It wasn't like he was running on the pitch and it was like a suicide situation. They don't trust Bo Naylor that much to bunt the ball. But
Wow.
no, but it had nothing to do with chaos whatsoever. And then Hoinsey says,
Hoinsey!
the error set the whole inning in motion. It looked like the Tigers sagged right there and the Guardians kept scoring runs. It was one of those innings where, I mean, is this the best we can do in analyzing a game after
No,
it's over?
It was the bottom of the eighth where the wheels came off for the Tigers, and when they came out in the field, they just looked like they were already beat.
Yeah, I mean, they got mowed down. I mean, Kate Smith just mowed them down. And but the fact is that the double that Angel Martinez hit, I mean, Badu dove into the ground for no apparent reason. I mean, they just fell apart emotionally. But that looked like the Tigers team for the year before, where Badu is a bat, but he's certainly not a good defender out in left field. I mean, I've seen him before. He's not particularly good. So this got me to thinking, this was a really great example of lies that people tell in order to try to make the story better, and as far as Tony is concerned, he's pimping OKC because they're manhandling, but the Wolves don't have anything. I mean, what can you say for your team when your leading scorer after the first game says, I only got 14 fucking shots, and promptly gets fined by the NBA? What can you say about somebody who grabs their balls after making a last-second shot and is the first man in history to not get fined for doing it? But if you're Edwards, who's already coughed up $450,000 in fines this year, you say the F-bomb and it's an immediate fine. But he was more worried about how many shots he put up at the end of the game instead of losing the fucking game. So, yes, Oklahoma City's a better team than Minnesota, but there are a lot of teams that are better than Minnesota. I'm not bad-mouthing Minnesota. It's wonderful they've gotten this far, but this is not a contest.
No,
and
get swept.
And Oklahoma City is the team I'm cheering for because I really think they are the best team this year. Whether that will be a dynasty team, well, Tony's got a boner. But again, let's not get ahead of ourselves. There's so much shit that can happen.
He's
between
a bit old to be getting boners for random reasons, He's an old man now.
Hey, you take what you get, right?
Yeah, exactly.
But I started thinking of the lies that we get told All right, I'm gonna adjust this damn camera and put it down a little bit. There we go. This whole thing. What about the quarterbacks for the Cleveland Browns? You know, is it going to be Dylan Gabriel, or is it going to be Shedeur Sanders? And but you know, it could be Pickett, and it could be, you know, and we've got some podcasters saying, "I hope it's Pickett because he's got experience." All these people saying stupid things. But if you
not as stupid as what Mary Kay Cabot said today, but go ahead.
Well, what did she say? Go ahead and
she said that supposedly that Deshaun Watson thinks he's going to be back this year, and he's out there throwing
he
balls
said black.
Jerry Jeudy and
wow.
It was
allegedly
a misprint.
Yeah.
Wow.
I mean, Deshaun Watson is like Paleozoic era.
Back. He's out there throwing passes.
I mean, how many people do you know who will say something like, "I don't feel safe going out in the neighborhood because a Tyrannosaurus Rex might be out there"? I mean, Deshaun Watson is so far in the rearview mirror, you can't see him anymore. That's the point of this whole thing. Why do you think they drafted half of mainland China to try to become the next Browns quarterback? So that people will just spit out the bad taste of Deshaun Watson. That's just, it's been, I mean, whether you think he's a rapist or you think that he's hurt all the time, or you just didn't think he lived up to what he was supposed to do, or that he took the money and ran, any number of things, you just don't want the fans to focus on that. So that's done. So now we have to create this ruckus about, you know, these quarterbacks. Now, this is where the lies come in. All right. You have Kevin Stefanski sitting in front of a camera on an interview, and he's saying, well, look, it's not going to be 25, 25, 25, 25% as far as snaps during the course of, you know, practices, you know, and all of that. So he obviously has an idea right now. And that means that there will be some people who get very little and some people who will get more. My personal feeling is I'm hoping that that Pickett is gone, okay? Because he's a proven failure. I would rather have a guy starting who's 40 years old, but who proved that he can still throw for 300 yards versus a guy who's never thrown for over 200 in a goddamn professional game and was so bad that the Pittsburgh Steelers.
How bad was he?
Well, they got rid of him and they didn't have a plan. They brought in a 35-year-old man, and they still don't have a plan in Pittsburgh for quarterback. And it's totally Browns-esque over there, too. I mean, I don't know what they're doing. And if they're waiting on Aaron Rodgers, then there is a Tyrannosaurus Rex in their neighborhood. I don't know why you would predicate your future of your franchise to a flake like Aaron Rodgers. But be that as it may, Stefanski has an idea. Now, he's not going to show you his hand because he's not obligated to. But anybody who's saying that Shedeur Sanders is going to be the guy is lying, okay? It's a fucking prevarication. It's a lie. And let me explain why it's a lie. If he did everything right and all of the stars aligned, he would only be doing it in practices and in preseason games where they would not be able to replicate the intensity of a real season game. This is the first thing. And if you don't believe me, ask Justin Fields. All right? Just ask him, do you remember his first game?
Oh, God. Yeah. We did that simultaneously.
It's like, nobody told me they were going to be running at me that fast. You know, it's like, no. All right.
No.
But besides that, if he does everything right, the Cleveland Browns took an entire offseason to do nothing for their wide receiver core. Do you think that the tokenism of let's get the Bowling Green tight end makes this a better passing offense. And if you say, well, that Shedeur Sanders, his strength is he can throw an accurate long ball. It's like, well, what makes you think we're going to do that? It's just a lie. Quit lying. It doesn't matter how good he throws the long ball. That's not what this coach has ever been about.
Yeah.
And he's not going to be about that in his last ditch
Season with the
effort
Browns.
before he gets shit canned after having a bad season. He wants to have the best possible record he can, playing as close to the vest with the familiar kind of strategy that he does. So you're telling me then that Shedeur Sanders, who is a direct snap guy, not a play action guy,
Yep.
that he is the slowest of the bunch. Well, maybe not with Pickett, but he's slower than Dylan Gabriel is. All right. It takes him longer to get rid of the ball than Dylan
He's gonna
Gabriel.
get killed.
They did the time on him, and it was like 2.96 seconds in college. He'd just be flattened and eaten alive. Are you kidding me?
He was flattened and eaten alive in college. What are you talking about?
Stop. Yeah,
he was able to outrun
he
those
got-
guys because they're not that good.
yeah,
But these guys,
but
every one of them is,
but he's slow comparatively to Dylan Gabriel. He's slow, and he does
Dylan
not.
Gabriel's barely taller than Bronk, though. So
Yeah, but the thing is that
little bit
accuracy is definitely affected by how you handle pass rush and how quick you can read the defense and how quick. Obviously, he couldn't read it too quick in Colorado because he was getting sacked a lot. So this is a lie. All right. So, but again, if you think that he's going to do that, then you're lying to yourself because you think he's going to have somebody open to throw to, and that the coach is going to call, and he will call the plays, call a bunch of plays that call for big gains, which he's not going to do. That's what we have. I don't know.
I thought the plan was for play action pass and double tight ends and pound them with our running backs and our
Yeah.
offensive line that's kind of iffy at best at this point.
No quarterback is going to be the star of this team. Stop lying. And I'm talking to the whole press. Stop the fucking lies. What you're going to get here is, under the best circumstances, a classroom of zone blocking and finding out which running back is going to be better at being able to anticipate the zone blocks and be able to have vision. Now, stop and think. If you think that this is going to be effective, or if you're looking forward to the season at all, you're a liar. Because all you're doing is you're talking more about whether there's going to be a dome in Brook Park or where there's going to be, a reclamation project for that piece of junk on the lake right now. I mean, why would you think that quarterback is even important right now when if either of your two rookie backs that you just drafted get hurt or don't turn out to be what you wanted them to be, that you still have Pierre Strong and you still have Jerome Ford? What makes you think, who've proven that they can't run under the block scheme, the zone block scheme? So that's a lie. But it's not just the Browns that are full of lies. I'm going to talk about the Guardians next. And I'm angry about this because you keep coming up with stories in the press and they, if you honestly believe, or if you're happy that Lane Thomas is back, you're a fucking liar. You're inventing shit just to create stuff on the internet. That guy sucks. He never was a good defensive center fielder because we had one in Miles Straw who simply could not hit.
Mm-hmm.
All right. By the way, in part-time use this year, he's hitting 291 for Toronto, but Toronto's not the greatest team in the world. But Lane Thomas ain't going to hit 291 in any form of duty, and he made two errors in that game, whether they scored them as errors or not, holding their hands up, oh, where the ball is, or whatever the fuck it is. He doesn't hit on a regular basis. He'll cluster a few home runs together, but he'll always end up the season with 17 fucking home runs, and never when you really need them the most. Yeah. He did have a decent postseason last year, and people had hope, but the reality now is he's not the best center fielder. All right. Here's another thing.
Columbus the other day. Did you see that? Did you see the thing about the Columbus guys? 5 2-run home runs in the same inning.
Really?
Yeah. The other day, the Columbus had 5 2-run. It was like everybody on the damn team. Lane
I didn't
Thomas
know we had 5 guys who could hit it over the wall down there.
One of them was their very first home run since 2024, like spring of 2024.
Fluke. All right.
Wow. Yeah. And I mean, it was like, I don't know. And it was it wasn't a position player pitching. It was an actual pitcher. It was against Iowa. I have to bring it up, but it was like the most unique thing that happened and whatever. And supposedly, speaking of the Clips, Chase DeLauder has been assigned to Columbus, but
Columbus, yes.
I'm sure he's going to trip on the curb on the way in and go on the IL.
But bad luck is bad luck, and it happens to I put up something, and it really, and this is again another big lie. You know how many quarterbacks the Cleveland Browns have had, and if I hear that one more fucking time. But take a look at the first round picks of the Cleveland Guardians, formerly the Indians, from 2000 to the present.
Oh,
you know what you're going to find? One player, Francisco Lindor, was worth a shit. The rest were a bunch of fucking bums. Absolutely. Who never went anywhere, anytime. Why do we talk about and fixate on, the Browns can't get a quarterback? But the Guardians can't even get it's not even position specific. They can't even get a good player out of a first round pick. How is that possible?
That's a very good point. That doesn't get any mention whatsoever.
No, it gets no play whatsoever. I want to look that up. I had it up the other day.
Yeah.
The 5 home runs that the Clippers, the 5 players that hit 2-run home runs. I know there are a lot of everyday names that you're thinking. Milan Tolentino, CJ Kafis, who we have heard of, Petey Halpin, Yordis Valdez, and then Lane Thomas. So yeah,
that's awesome.
And Rocchio hit another home run, 2-run home run the next inning. So
Rocchio, that's all he's gonna hit.
Wow.
All right, let's see if I can find the list. I mean, this is like really scary, really scary. We'll start in 2000, okay? You're gonna remember some of these guys because they were really big-time ball players.
Yeah.
There was Corey Smith. There was Mike Conroy. There was J.D. Martin. There was Alan Horn. There was Dan Denham. There was Micah Schilling. There was Matt Whitney. Jeremy Guthrie. There's somebody who actually made it to the bigs. Adam Miller, but he wasn't our pick, okay? But he eventually became one. Brad Snyder, Michael Aubrey, Jeremy Sowers, Johnny Drennan, Trevor fucking Crow, David Huff, Bo Mills, Lonnie, oh my God, my calf, Chisenhall, Alex White, Drew, short career Pomerantz, left-handed pitcher.
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
So in 2011, Francisco Lindor.
Woohoo!
Right? This is the definition of a blind pig finding an acorn once in a while. All right.
That's one all-star out of that lot, I think.
All right, here's the next bunch since 2012. Tyler Naquin, Clint Frazier, Mike Pappy, Justice Sheffield, Bradley Zimmer,
Yeah.
Tristan, my arm, McKenzie. Brady Aiken, my heart is breaking. Will Benson, the butler, who's now in Cincinnati.
He's doing good for another team.
No,
Yeah.
he's really not doing good. His lifetime
Well,
is a 229 average, but they have all their batting averages beside him, and I haven't wasted your time with it.
No.
Lenny Torres, Ethan Hankins, Bo Can't Bunt Naylor, Daniel Espino, Tanner Burns, Carson Tucker, Gavin Williams. Well, there's a guy who's up in the bigs, and I think he's got at least the stuff if he can get his command. All right. Justin Campbell, Chase DeLauder, Ralphie Velasquez, Braylon Doughty, and Travis Bazana. Now, you tell me why these other players, Braylon Doughty, nobody talks about him. Ralphie Velasquez, nobody talks about him. So now we're down to Chase DeLauder. I'm hurt. And Travis Bazana. Oh, my God, I felt my oblique go. So stop lying about the Browns situation and sit there and say, well, I'm a baseball fan. No, you're not. You're a liar. You're in denial. Look at this. How can you get it wrong for 24 fucking years? How is that possible?
Wow.
Just pointing things out, folks, because somebody has to, because everybody is lying to everybody.
Oh, and some of those fuckers are really hyped. I mean, Jeremy Guthrie, I think he had a couple nice years in Baltimore, but he was going to be the next big thing, wasn't he? And there were a few other ones.
Well,
Yeah,
same with Pomerantz. I mean,
Yeah,
Pomerantz,
in
absolutely.
Colorado. Yeah, that was a big thing. I mean, even if you look at, I guess, maybe the first round draft picks or something, but even if you go for the very first draft picks, okay, obviously we had Bazana, but Paul Skeens, who's definitely done it, but the poor guy needs to be able to go. Jackson Holiday with the Orioles, Henry Davis with the Pirates, and he hasn't done much anything. Spencer Torkelson, I can't catch at third base yesterday. Adley Rushman, and Casey Mize. So the last, even there, we're not looking.
Well,
I'm looking through for all-stars, and I'm not seeing too many of them. So,
well, what that says is that no one can fucking evaluate talent anymore. You
got to go back to Garrett Cole in 2011.
Yeah.
Bryce Harper in 2010.
I'm not about to let the front office off the hook because stop and think about it. Take away the first round. How about second, third, fourth, fifth rounds?
That's when you're
we wouldn't be talking about Daniel Schneemann if we had drafted somebody who was a competent player. We wouldn't be wasting our time with this shit. And why do I have to come on here and say to people, Angel Martinez is the best of the lot?
Yeah.
This guy, I mean, and I said this early on in the season. I'm going to say it again 25% of the way through the season. He's scrounging for his playing time at various positions. Why can't you just play him at second base and just stop all the fucking nonsense? If you're confident that he can play right field, then don't put the lumbering John Kenzie Noel who just swings and air conditions the stadium. I'm tired of this shit. He's reached the age where he should be better, and he's gotten worse. This is every power hitter that we've ever had is a strikeout machine. And I read a couple of their names, like Clint Frazier, who never even made it in New York, for Christ's sake. You can surround him with the best hitters, and he was just a whiff waiting to happen. You take a look at the few attempted power hitters, they were all failures. And Angel Martinez has a better arm than Lame Thomas, which is where I started this conversation. He's not a good center fielder, and the talent is oozing out of Martinez. He just doesn't yet have discipline at the plate. But I don't know why that's a problem, because Brian Rocchio never did, and we stayed with him for how long? And Gabriel Arias, he's not got any patience at the plate, and he's going through a better time. It's like, well, he's doing good. He's hitting a 253, and I thought, oh fuck, where is our next Jose Ramirez? Where is our next guy who's a real contributor? And we don't have one.
Mm-hmm.
We're so bad, we got rid of our 30 home run a year guy to bring in a 40-year-old first baseman.
Yeah.
So you go figure, how could we not have a first baseman? And it's like you've got a power hitter who looks like he can hit, but he's only hitting 218 because he doesn't have discipline at the plate. And you got to stay with the people that you have because you don't have any backup. But it's a lie to say the Browns are the most inept organization in Cleveland, because it has a bigger fandom, and the Guardians by far have failed at really creating any talent from the levels, through the draft and building people into better players in the minor leagues. It just doesn't happen. It only happens for pitchers. They don't know anything about hitting the ball. And it's obvious when you watch them, because their approach at the plate, even the players who have been around, they're just blindly swinging at anything. I mean, pitchers can throw the ball half a foot off the plate and they'll start swinging at them. It's really pathetic.
Wouldn't you think it either makes it extraordinarily important to extend Quan or get something for him before he leaves?
You've got to extend him unless you're just not serious, which I don't think they are. But it's
because he's outside of Ramirez. He's the one guy you can count on.
Well, he's consistent and he has an approach. And it's not that the organization helped him. He brought that with him. And the hope is that Bazana will also have that kind of mentality, because he was like glued to Stephen Kwan during the course of the preseason, trying to learn what he could. He's a guy who does as much as he can to learn about things. But what's there to learn if you just suffocate a guy in the minor leagues and all he sees is minor league pitching? There comes a point when it's just economics and they're trying to control the destiny of the player for the fucking 5 years, and then pray to the baby Jesus that somebody like Jose Ramirez, who was born stupid, will take less money to stay in Cleveland. And that's not a strategy. That's just being cheap. My God.
Wow.
So the lies continue on with the Cavaliers, too. I mean, do you really honestly think that I'm reading, it's like there are some people who are on the bubble for the Cavaliers, but, the Cavaliers really want to hold on to Sam Merrill. The only person who wants to hold on to Sam Merrill is his girlfriend. Let's be honest about this. And it's not that I have anything against Sam Merrill as a player. He's trying hard. He really was trying to play defense, but he's outsized by everyone he guards. He's being attacked. And here's the other thing that people lie about, and I'm sick of it. The value of a guy like Sam Merrill is that he can make a three-point shot. But what three-point shot is he going to get when Darius Garland and Donovan Mitchell are hogging the ball? Wasn't the whole thing about this Cavalier team, they were really playing great, is that they made the extra pass or two? Wasn't the whole basis of a Cavalanche not that Ty Jerome would bring the ball up the floor by himself and make an individual move and make a fadeaway over a 6'6" guy? No. But what would happen is there was momentum. and they would get steals and they would turn that into opportunities. They would break the other way and throw the ball to Merrill, who'd be ahead of the pack, but he'd pull up and shoot the three, and they'd get momentum, and bang, you have a Cavalanche. But it's bullshit. It's bullshit to sit there and say, well, the team really wants to hold on to Sam Merrill. Why? And it's like, I don't know if we could do, shouldn't get rid of Isaac Okoro. And I'm so fucking sick of that shit.
I was waiting for the Isaac Okoro.
Isaac Okoro is 6'4". I mean, I don't care how good a defender he is. He's going to defend guys who are guards for the other team. And quite honestly, I didn't see him shutting down guards.
He didn't shut down anything, really.
They really thought, he could actually, end up going up against forwards. No, he can't. He's 6'4". Stop it. He's got no offensive game. He can't shoot. He's reluctant to shoot. And we don't need him. We never needed him. We tried to create something out of him, and he's afraid to shoot the ball. He's like a golfer with the yips. Don't need it. Gone. Stop lying. He's brilliant defensive player. No, he's not. Stop lying. My eyes see the truth. Just like the pitcher who threw the ball right to the Tigers' third baseman, and they're blaming him for making a bad throw because the third baseman, the ball, you could have caught it. Hammer.
That's one thing I could do is catch a ball.
Yeah.
Good God almighty. I've never seen a guy put his glove in the wrong place before.
I'm going to have to see this now, this highlight. So, okay.
Oh,
just look up the ninth inning.
Especially if they have the angle that they had on the on Guardians TV. My God, you see him off the mound, ball's right to him, turns, throws, perfect throw.
It's like,
wow.
And you're right, Bronk. The difference is Kyle Korver could get a shot off at a blink of an eye. And Sam Merrill was sped up by the end of the year. He was sped up so much from the perimeter because Darius Garland's boink, 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 boink. Donovan Mitchell, boink, 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 boink. And there's no more passing the ball. The people who should take the most responsibility for the failure in the playoffs this year, head coach Kenny Atkinson, because he obviously didn't drill the message in, and Donovan Mitchell and Darius Garland, because quite honestly, 41% utilization, is that what we're talking about with Donovan Mitchell? He's got to have the ball in his fucking hands. And Darius Garland is still fighting him for possessions, in essence. This offense can't succeed that way. You just, so if you want to hold on to Sam Merrill, you better have players who will share the ball. Because as long as Donovan Mitchell and Darius Garland are on the team, he will never get an open shot because they will dribble the shot clock down and the defense will just find a way to sag onto them. And they're not going to be able to throw cross-court passes to Sam Merrill, who's standing in his favorite spot. It will be stolen, and they'll go for an opposite dunk. That's what will happen because that's what was happening during the course of the season. So stop the lying about those players too. So you got the Guardians and the press lying about that. You've got the Browns and the press trying to pimp some quarterback war that Shedeur has no chance. No chance. Unless he's Christ and walks on water, he is totally ill-equipped to play Kevin Stefanski's system. Totally ill-equipped. Do you think in one rookie camp and then in OTAs and then in the preseason with as little activity as he's going to have that he's going to become a wizard of play action?
No.
I mean, it's stupid. Stop lying. God, it just drives me nuts. And it's everywhere I look. All over Twitter, all over the news. everywhere. Well, the fault is with the Ukraine. They're the ones who are holding this peace prospect up, and then it's Putin dropping the bombs. Suck my dick. You're a bunch of liars. And I'm just sick of it. Just sick of it. Just use your eyes. But if you're brainwashed, you can't see and trust your own eyes. That's the scary part of it. The good news is that by winning 7-0, they were already talking about, if the Guardians don't get 2 out of 2 against the Tigers, it could be all over. And it's like, something? That's what they said about the Cavaliers. I don't think the Detroit Tigers, Scooble's a good pitcher, yeah. But I honestly don't think that I'm shaking in my boots over the Detroit Tigers. They're off to a great start, and that's great for the city of Detroit. No bad, hard feelings. Nothing makes me feel bad about it. But they're not going to continue at that pace. They're not that good. Wow. They're just, and you saw what happened when Bybee was just hitting his spots. They were impotent. It's not like this is a New York Yankees bag full of hitters lineup. Riley Green is their best fucking hitter. He's hitting 280. He's hit 12 home runs. But you go down the list and it's like, well, they've gotten timely hits. And you know what that means? That guys who are 220 hitters aren't going to keep getting timely hits. Stay close and you'll be fine. God damn it. Lies.
Any thoughts about the Pacers and the Knicks?
Yeah.
That was a game, man. Wow. That was worth staying up for.
Well, what I'll tell you about these playoffs so far, and with the exception of Oklahoma City, they're just outclassing Minnesota, and we expected that. And I think Tony the Calf expected that too.
Yeah, I feel bad about that.
Yeah. I like it when a guy's team goes a long way, and hey, maybe they can keep it going, but nobody sees them winning that. No. But as far as the Knicks are concerned, don't you see the same thing? What they say is they ran out of gas. And if
they
you
gave up,
what Jalen Brunson said is exactly that.
Oh, did he?
Oh, you didn't hear his quote?
No. I see. How I watch the game, so I don't get any post game shit, or I don't see any of this. It's 4 a.m. I go to bed, and then I don't come back to it the next day. So I do not know what goes on after these games.
I want to quote him properly.
Oh, right. Okay.
Let's see.
The Knicks are fucking heavily favored for tonight's game. I'm just thinking about that going, really?
I'm I'm not finding the quote. I think they lifted it off the internet.
Did they really?
It was right after the loss, and he said we stopped playing defense out there.
Yeah, they did.
He goes for 2.5 minutes. We just stopped.
We saw you stop playing defense.
What does that mean? But it's the same thing. The nonsensical. Ran out of gas.
Out of gas. Yeah.
But stop and think for a minute. Playing for Tom Thibodeau and the minutes that they played, maybe they were tired, and when they saw that goofy shot bounce, 20 feet up in the air and drop through,
Do you believe in miracles?
And then you have asshole giving the premature choke sign. Just make it stop. Come on. That
was drama, though. That was fucking sporting drama. Though.
Yeah, but no, he was just mimicking Reggie Miller. And come up with something creative on your own. But, his dad's an asshole, and the apple didn't fall far from the tree, okay? You don't do that in game fucking one.
Yeah.
In front of the other team's crowd. Well, I don't know what you're thinking doing that. But the Knicks, that was Brunson, their leader. dribble.
Their leader.
Yeah, Mister, I need the ball to get anything done.
Well, they only played like 6 guys in that game.
Well,
I mean,
but
you
let's
know.
be honest. It's easy to say, well, we ran out of gas. We stopped playing defense. But when is the excuses and the lies going to stop? And they look at themselves and they say, we're chokers. That's what the Cavaliers are. Do you think Jared Allen wakes up in the morning and says, I'm He-Man? I mean, I don't think so. I mean, it's like, well, and you couldn't even use they were tired excuse because Kenny Atkinson limited their minutes, but it didn't matter. A loser is a loser is a loser. And the Cavaliers have some real bow wows on their team, and nobody wants to tell the truth. They all just want, they don't want to go back to the days after LeBron immediately left and have to have 25 win or 20 win seasons. They don't want to go back to that. They would rather just be mediocre or to end up with 48 or 50 wins and get into the playoffs and then not show up year after year. That's what they'd rather have. But the truth is right in their face, and the Knicks are no different. The Knicks are a choke organization, and they have been. And the Cavaliers in the playoffs under 2 different coaches have choked in the playoffs. That's the reality of it. And by choked, there's a lot of definitions. For the Cavaliers, it was Darius Garland and Donovan Mitchell going back to their old wrong ways of hogging the ball.
Yeah.
All right? And nobody else was seeing the ball, and Evan Mobley never got his fucking hands on the ball. All right? Yeah. So, I mean, that is a form of choking because you don't trust your teammates. Got to do it myself. Got to do it. And that's what Jalen Brunson is. For God's sakes, I'll just go back him down. I'm going to shoot a fadeaway. And if it doesn't go in, I've just used up 22 seconds and we're in a shitload of trouble. How do you think teams like the Pacers get into a situation to win these games late? Because dribble. They get double teamed and they turn the ball over and they execute and they get, it's amazing. They talked about the Cavaliers losing a 7-point lead with what was it, 46.7 seconds left.
Yeah, like 59. I don't know. Yeah, it was.
But this one, the Knicks. Yeah, the Knicks lost a 9-point lead.
9-point lead in 57 or something.
That's right. How do you think that happens? You don't score. You turn the ball over and you dribble, and you give the other team hope. And you know what happened? And nobody talks about this because they're talking about Mr. Choke Halliburton guy who grabs his testicles or whatever the fuck he does. That's who they're talking about.
Correct.
But it was Neesmith.
Neesmith with his magic.
5 out of 6 threes in those closing minutes.
Yeah, he ain't Sam Merrill, is he?
No, but I mean, the fact of the matter is, God bless the Pacers because they're coming through.
They're trying. Yeah,
when they need to. They're showing character, and they're playing teams that choke. They don't block out on free throws. Oh, but he was into the lane too early. Donovan Mitchell saying, well, I really should have laid a body on him. No, you choked. No. Your feet didn't move. That's what happens when you choke. Your feet don't move. You may think you're tired, but you're frightened is what you are. Be honest with yourself. Quit lying. And the New York Knicks, why do you think the entire thing was, oh my God, the Knicks have beat the Celtics? They were celebrating just because they didn't lose to Boston because they hate Boston as a city. Well, Boston hates them.
Who doesn't?
Right?
Yeah.
So it was like this made their season suddenly relevant. But they are who they are, and they beat a team that had a player rip out his Achilles tendon and who's fantastic. 7'4" guy can't fucking breathe. I mean, come on.
Porzingis.
Yeah, I mean, take a look at that. Their roster was destroyed, and and New York's like, puffing their chest up like, oh, we've proven ourselves. You've proven nothing because look at you now.
They beat Sam fucking Hauser. Come on, Tommy Heinsohn.
The joke again. And the reason is you don't have the cast of characters. You really think, honestly, that, if you're in a shitload of trouble, that you're going to be able to get help from, Hart has proven he can hit big shots, but you can't rely on him game in, game out, game in, game out. He's an active player, but he's been playing 40 minutes a night. Do you really think, looking at their roster, that their guys are going to be like a Neesmith who's going to suddenly, out of the blue, is going to hit 5 out of 6 in the last 2.5 minutes of a game from 3?
No.
They don't have anybody who could possibly do that.
No.
So they don't trust one another, and the game slows down, and it's Brunson, dribble, dribble, dribble.
Yeah,
And
they got Bridges and Anunoby, and they're not going to fucking go up and hit 5 straight threes.
Coach ain't doing nothing about it, man.
Yeah.
That's what he wants. So
they are 6.5 point favorites tonight after that game from the other night. That's just the home team, and they've already lost a very important and
game.
They probably might get a win today, but that blows my mind that the Pacers do not get respect at all.
Oh, here's another liar. Former Nuggets coach Michael Malone, who got deep six, raised more than a few eyebrows earlier in the week when he was praising SGA. Effusively praising him. But he's come back and said it was Jokic, not SGA, who was his pick for the MVP this season. I did vote for him again this year if I had a vote, said Malone. What does that mean?
That means nothing. That I could say that.
You know what it means? It means I'm unemployed and I need a job, and I just want you to know that I was with my guy.
Keep my name out there. Let's keep my name out there.
God, quit lying. I'm sick of the lying. It's everywhere.
It's everywhere.
And I'm Jim Irsay. Stop lying. He's a fucking
dead.
drug addict. Fucking dead drug addict.
Dead.
Fuck him. He didn't
dead.
want to live. He had every opportunity to live. He had more money than God, and he still managed to kill himself. Fuck him. Liars. And they got a cover for this.
Oh, that gets onto my favorite topic. The team is obviously going to fall down to his daughters. So there'll be like 3 daughter Irsays. Right. The NFL really needs to stop these dynastic ownership platforms. Don't these fucking descendants get taxed or anything or what? We had Randy Lerner after Al Lerner. There's like every fucking franchise except for the Packers is somebody's descendant.
The alternative is what you have with these investment capitalists.
Yeah.
Deals, basically, it's a nameless, faceless entity.
Yeah, we got that all over the Premier League. So yeah, we got.
Yeah, that's exactly what I was thinking. In British soccer, it's
the John Henrys and all that lot. Yeah, I know.
The whole thing is just infuriating to me because if you can't even get truth from, if all you're doing is trying to raise ruckus on social media,
we could do that.
Something.
We could raise ruckus.
I've been doing this for so long. I can tell you all about my dreams, of snipers wiping out Hugh Jackson. I've watched so many gangster movies. There was a time when it was a lot of inflammatory stuff, but it was it was based upon the fact that the Browns were so inept under Hugh Jackson that he couldn't remain the coach. He kept coming back, and it was like if you were following from the time he was with Oakland, he was nothing but a troublemaker and a bad mouther from the get-go.
Yeah.
So that's a certain frustration. but lying, I don't get the whole thing. I don't get it.
But yeah, I mean, my point is that Jimmy and Dee suddenly dropped that. Then there's some Haslam children that are going to take over the Browns, and would they be any better?
No.
What do they call them? They're philanthropists.
Yeah,
Because they can't do anything.
Yep.
They never had to do anything. They're like the royal family, Bronk. They're a bunch of fucking douchebags who couldn't defend themselves in a real war if they had to. They're figureheads. They're just like the people in Congress. The only way they can make money is insider trade. It's the only way they could possibly make money because they're douchebags.
Oh, did people dump their Apple stock in time for the tirade about iPhones? That's what that was all about.
Yeah, but I mean, yeah, they're philanthropists. Isn't that lovely? You know, I don't understand it. Whatever happened to the self-made men? Whatever happened to the people? You know, and you know what happened to them? A guy like Preston Tucker. That's what happened to him. You create a car and you have the big three crush you into the ground. It's always been that way. Nobody wanted the automotive industry into some kind of a situation where it would become more competitive than what it was. They were bedfellows. It's just like the NFL owners. They're bedfellows.
Yep.
It's just an annoyance. But,
Well, lies prop up corruption. That's the whole point of them.
and
That is what they do.
You see that now.
yeah, I mean, but again, wealth is something that there's never enough of for some people. I mean, there are people who honestly can't afford any nutritious food. All right. And they're called Haitians and they eat dogs. So we make that shit up. Okay. We lie. But there are a lot of people who are having all kinds of problems. But those people are like, you know, Smithers, they're just holding on to their money so fucking hard. They're not going to let anybody get ahead. And don't let anyone tell you that there was an enlightenment for Elon Musk about, well, you know, maybe I don't belong in politics. You know, you fucking bipolar freak. The bottom line is that the value of your company was going down the shitter. You were exposed to a real world thing, which is there are consequences to opening your fucking mouth and lying about shit and going through all this, I'm the richest man in the world stuff in front of cameras. There are consequences. And you see, when the consequences came down, when the going got tough, Elon got going. You don't hear shit from him now.
No, you don't.
Because the only God there is to him is his stash of green. That's all. But it's not just him. There's a bunch of people who are in the same situation. You know, it's like Bernie Sanders going off and talking about the everyman. The guy's got 4 houses. Suck my dick. I mean, you've got to be kidding me. And it's like Marjorie Taylor Greene screaming. You know, it's like, you're worth more than how much now? You know, lies, just fucking lies. Ugh. We can't even tell the truth that a president is suffering from a debilitating old age disease and should be out of office. Now, do you know why Kamala Harris ran? You're telling me they just discovered the motherfucker has cancer? It's prostate cancer, folks. Do you know how long it takes for prostate cancer to gestate? Read about it. Read about it. Yeah. Are you telling me that when he was president of the United States, that he didn't notice that his fucking PSA number was going up in his regular physicals? I mean, come on.
Doctor?
Huh?
Or some doctor didn't notice that or say something?
I mean, it's
don't they get physicals like multiple times a year? You know, the one that says Trump weighs 220 pounds?
Yeah.
It's just lies on top of lies. Well, I'm going to get out of here because I'm going to go out and try to sing karaoke tonight, I think. It depends if I don't
Oh.
freeze my dong off going
What's
outside.
your go-to song tonight?
Thompson Twins. Lies, yeah.
Wow.
Or you can hide your lying eyes. That might be one.
Or could be Eurythmics. Would I lie to you?
Oh, good. Yeah. All right. But guys, I appreciate you showing up at the last minute to have my back. I really appreciate it.
Yeah, there was no show about at 11 o'clock here. I don't know what happened.
No, man. I mean, it's like I just threw it together at the last minute.
Well, we had to set down our very busy schedules. Oh, I'm sorry, that's a lie. So, that's another one. There you go.
Hey, I was feeding the cats.
Too much joy and LL Cool J. That's a lie. There you go.
Wow. Bonus Moohead, by the way.
Yeah, that's what everybody really longs for.
Bonus
me being the angry man, shaking my hands. You're on a bunch of irons.
Yeah, you're like Grandpa Simpson shaking his fist at the cloud.
Yeah, exactly. It's a sad thing getting older.
Well, that's what happens when you get old. You don't understand.
You'd be grouchy too, Bronk, if you had to live through this weather right now. Holy
God.
fucking moly. What in the world?
weather here has been brilliant. I love this global warming shit, man.
It's real British weather right now. It's like
I know. That's how I had for many, many years was what
wet
you're having
and
right
cold.
now. Yeah, wet and cold.
I mean, and that it's like this is gonna go through you.
I'm like, I got the Mustang
like a big penis through your rectum.
Oh, I did see the Angel Martinez double on some clip, and it looked like there were 5 people in the fucking stadium. Did everybody just leave the game?
Nobody's in Detroit watching this.
It was raining. It was raining,
it raining the whole game?
Raining almost the whole game. It finally got down to like a light drizzle, but there were actual periods of time when it was just coming down. Now it wasn't like,
was it like that Robert De Niro movie, The Fan?
No, it wasn't.
Bobby!
It wasn't kind of sideways, but it was raining pretty dang good. And I at one point in time, we're sitting there watching the game. We're like, let's just get through 6. Okay, we got the lead. Let's get through 6.
Yeah,
get this thing in the books. So
that's what it's been like here, just rain pouring down, but it's like this wet, penetrating cold. And if you've got arthritis, I mean, it's just going to drive you up a wall. I've been living on my mat. I can't really go outside and do a hell of a lot in this, going for walks and bundled up, and then getting on my mat and stretching and doing whatever I can do just to be able to get around. I'm going to be up there. And it was funny the other day, and I got to get going after this because I'm already late, but I was watching a video of Johnny Mathis's last performance.
Oh, wow.
Right? And it was terrible because he didn't even know it. Somebody shot him in the head it was his boyfriend. No, I'm sorry. I can't do that. But no, 89 years old. This guy can still sing. It was really amazing. And it was really,
chances are.
But you could understand why he was stopping the touring, and it wasn't because of his voice, but his knees were sagging, he could barely walk, and when he did walk, he was like Robbie the Robot because he had to completely turn. He was like an aged Dr. Evil, and if he had to walk off the stage, he was like Bidening. All right.
Wow.
He was Bidening his time. And you realize that the guy, he had to stop performing, but he still was really good. But I thought to myself, man, if I live to be 89, I wouldn't be doing as good as him because Mathis isn't a fat fuck like I am.
Wow.
I got problems ahead here, and this weather isn't helping. So,
Oh well, the Moohead radio effect, the Moohead curse is that it'll suddenly be 90 degrees out of nowhere in like the next couple days.
no, the next week we're still in the 60s, and
Really?
then we're supposed to hit 70 by June.
Yeah.
It's like, what the fuck?
I
Yeah,
know.
It's like
The top
9
has been
months
up
of
on the
13
convertible.
degrees.
I'm not happy.
Yeah, 9
Yeah.
months of 13 degrees centigrade.
I got
That's
this
what you guys
great
are having.
trike this recumbent trike. And you try riding into a headwind when it's this cold. It's like your body just stiffens, you know?
Well, you need those motorcycle leathers when you're out in that weather, man.
You know what I feel like when I get up in the morning? And then I can only tell you this.
Like Lane Thomas buffering.
No.
I'm sorry.
After the video, chances are, though I wear a silly grin, whenever you walk in the room, you know, I felt like him. And it's like,
Wow.
oh my God, that's why I related to the video so much.
Well, we need final word from Dick Goddard, before you go.
The only way my dick's getting hard right now is frozen. I wish my dick were as hard as a popsicle instead of just feeling like a popsicle. Yeah, I don't know. I gotta go. Thanks everybody for tuning into this edition of Moohead Radio. Back again come Monday. It'll be all right. Until then, hasta la vista, Pastor Heads. Good night.
Bye.